Jennifer Love Hewitt steps onto the dim soundstage, cracks a grin at Freddie Prinze Jr., and drops a line that freezes every Gen Z actor in earshot. Looks like the old ones just showed up. In an instant, the set erupts with laughter and a little nervousness, because nobody expected the 90s icons to own that nickname so fast. Hewitt's sly comeback isn't just a joke, it's the spark that yanks us into their unexpected return, a reunion that forces two aging survivors to confront a new generation's reckless secrets while the fisherman sharpens his hook in the shadows. They almost didn't do it. Hewitt admits the very idea of crawling back into Julie James's shoes honestly terrified her. "It's 26 years later," she told ET, and horror doesn't usually forgive wrinkles or motherhood. Prinze, meanwhile, flat out said pass until director Jennifer Caton Robinson pitched a story that felt less like a payday and more like unfinished business, convincing him to face Ray Bronson's nightmares one last time. Sony circled July 18, 2025 in blood red ink, daring fans to witness the sequel nobody thought would happen. Back in 1997, the original I Know What You Did Last Summer rode the scream wave, earned cult status, and branded Hewitt's panicked scream into pop culture. A rushed 1998 follow-up left the franchise frozen in amber, its Fisherman villain adrift in straight-to-video purgatory. 2 decades later, Robinson's legacy sequel drags that hook out of retirement and aims it at TikTok-obsessed 20-somethings who livestream everything, except their guilt. Those fresh faces felt invincible on set, right up until Hewitt and Prinze walked in. The younger cast started calling them the old ones, a harmless gag that secretly rattled Hewitt. She quickly flipped the script. "We're not old. We're the originals," she announced, and the vibe shifted from generational gap to masterclass in survival. Yet stepping back wasn't just nostalgia, it was a dare. Hewitt feared the brutal microscope of internet age spectators. Photos of her premiere look, a black beaded gown hugging 46-year-old curves, as trolls phrased it, ignited body shaming within minutes. Fans hit back fast, flooding timelines with praise for her confidence and fiery ginger hair. The backlash to the backlash turned into free marketing, painting Hewitt as a final girl still slashing through society's vanity rules. Prinze faced different taunts. "Ray's still alive?" Memes spread when the trailer teased his grizzled fisherman stare. In interviews, he called acting opposite Hewitt this time the best scenes we've put on camera together, because 3 decades of real-world bruises gave their characters texture no rewrite could fake. His wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, whose character famously died in '97, showed up at the premiere, snapping photos with Prinze and their teens. Internet detectives cried feud when Gellar and Hewitt weren't photographed together, forcing Gellar to squash rumors. She'd been wrangling kids during the carpet window, nothing more. The non-story revealed how desperate fans are for drama, any drama, around these returning legends. Inside the film, that hunger for spectacle mutates into dread. The new plot mirrors the original accident but injects modern cynicism. A viral lake party ends in lethal chaos, phones vanish, memories edit themselves, and a year later, bloody text messages buzz at 3 a.m. Robinson stitches Hewitt's Julie into the mess as a trauma professor haunted by lecture halls that smell like seawater. Ray, now a marina mechanic with permanent storm lines across his brow, tries to forget every July 4th until a hook sliced into a yacht hull drags him back. Their first on-screen exchange crackles with uneasy nostalgia, and when Ray mutters, "Same nightmare, new kids," Julie answers, "Nightmare's older than all of us." Prinze swears those lines were improvised on day one, proof that shared scars write better dialogue than any rewrite schedule. For audiences who stick around after the credits, Hewitt teases a mid-credits sting you do not want to miss, winking that it might rewrite the fisherman's mythology. Early reviewers hint at a cameo that could yank another 90s survivor out of hiding, but secrecy remains brutal. Studio security reportedly confiscated phones during test screenings to keep the twist buried. That rumor alone has horror forums buzzing, ensuring viewers won't bolt once the kill count fades. So, why risk legacy for late career screams? Hewitt says the sequel lets Julie wield 26 years of angst, knowledge, kick-assery against an enemy that killed her friends and her innocence. Unfinished therapy in final girl form. Prinze calls it a chance to prove Ray's survival mattered, that guilt doesn't expire just because youth does. Together, they transform old ones into originals on and off screen, challenging every new actor who thinks hashtags are armor. And if the fisherman comes swinging again, he'll discover the hardest thing to kill isn't teenagers. Its experience sharpened by decades of doubt. But that wasn't the whole story. Julie's reconnection with Southport begins on a windswept pier where shrimp boats creak like coffins. She watches young extras rehearse TikTok dances between takes and murmurs to Ray, "This isn't our town anymore." The generational clash becomes clear the moment Danica, the new film's party girl bride-to-be, sets off fireworks over the harbor to livestream an engagement reveal. Danica's flares ignite the water with violent crimson, and a crew member jokes that the color grading team just got a free sunset. Jennifer Caton Robinson, who directed Do Revenge, staged the scene on Sydney's Watson's Bay because the shoreline felt so beautiful it makes me want to die. The line survives in the final cut, half compliment, half omen, setting up the crash that dams the new five. When the reckless joyride spins off a blind curve, the camera lingers on phones sliding under seats, still recording. The impact shatters a windshield and a promise in the same frame. The Gen Z friends vote to keep the secret. Stevie, the introverted EMT in training, protests but is overruled. Their guilt isn't a midnight pact around a body like in 1997, it's a series of silent taps on their screens. Delete, delete, delete. Even that digital erasure can't save them a year later when anonymous texts arrive at Danica's bridal shower. A hook emoji, a location pin, and the words, "I know what you did." Ray sees the message on Danica's cracked iPhone and whispers, "It's happening again." Freddie Prinze Jr. told people that moment is the franchise's best scene we've put on camera together, because Dredd shares the frame with parental protectiveness. The Fisherman soon returns in thunderous boots. Robinson insisted on practical effects for the first murder, a harpoon that skewers a Jeep door, pinning influencer Milo while his livestream chat scrolls fake? No way! Bro got owned. The kill is filmed in one unbroken shot that ends when the hood slams shut like a coffin lid. Horror critics note the sequence's practical gore outclasses the original's quick cuts. Julie, summoned by terrified screams, surveys the blood and mutters, "Trauma never lets you graduate." Her voice cracks with 26 years of survivor's guilt, and it lands because Hewitt really is terrified to revisit Julie, calling the comeback wildly overwhelming. Between murders, Robinson sneaks in sly nostalgia. A broken neon sign flickers until only the letters ANCE remain, mirroring the bait shop jump scare from '97. Fresh victims sprint past, a reminder that history repeats until someone rewrites it. "We're not old, we're the originals," Julie declares to the trembling newbies. On set, the line was born of real-world teasing after the younger cast nicknamed Hewitt and Prince the old ones. A joke Hewitt flipped instantly. That meta shout-back electrifies the scene, blurring fiction and reality. Yet internet cruelty strikes harder than any hook. When premiere photos surfaced, trolls body-shamed Hewitt's curves. Fans clapped back, praising her confidence and copper hair, turning the cruelty into a trending defense of aging freely. The scandal becomes subtext on screen. Julie lectures her university class on collective shame, a term Robinson scripted after reading those headlines mid-production. Ray's arc, meanwhile, hinges on reluctant heroism. He hates July 4th fireworks because they echo shotgun blasts. He hates the ocean at night because moonlight looks like a hook. When Ray finally confronts the killer on a rain-slick marina, Prince's eyes carry decades of PTSD the script never needs to explain. Prince originally declined the sequel, but reversed course once Robinson pitched Ray as a man who's been waiting to apologize to his teenage self. As bodies mount, the new kids beg Julie to save them. She draws a chalk outline of the original Southport massacre on a whiteboard, connecting dates and tides like deadly constellations. She circles one unanswered question: who taught the Fisherman to haunt a new generation? The theory, someone close, someone young, hangs in the air like salt. The second act climax hits at Danica's oceanfront rehearsal dinner. String lights sway above a dance floor slick with sea mist. Chase Sui wonders as Ava steps into a lights-out corridor to pick up champagne and finds a fishhook embedded in the charcuterie board. She screams. The band keeps playing. The Fisherman lunges from shadows and Ray tackles him off the balcony. Both crash into surf below, disappearing. Julie races to the railing and spits out one line, "You'll drown in your own memories," before sprinting down the dunes. The section ends on a silent frame. Julie kneeling in wet sand, staring at two sets of footprints merging into the tide. No killer, no Ray, only empty ocean. And what happens next will slice through every alibi the survivors have left. Ava's panicked 911 call draws flashing lights across Southport's boardwalk, but familiar incompetence follows. The sheriff grumbles about another tourist prank, echoing the first film's disbelieving cops. Julie responds with steel, "Check the morgue in the morning. Pranks don't bleed." Her fury turns the law into background noise. A deliberate choice, Robinson says, because horrors endured by teenagers often get dismissed by authorities until it's too late. Inside the lighthouse-turned-crime lab, we meet Milo's sister Stevie, a med school dropout who now sterilizes scalpels for autopsies. She shows Julie grainy CCTV stills, a silhouette in a slicker hauling Ray's unconscious body across dock planks at 2:14 a.m. The footage crackles out before any face appears. Stevie whispers, "It's almost like he knew where the blind spots were." She's right. Robinson scouted Gold Coast sound stages exclusively for their labyrinth of catwalks and shadows, designing a set where the Fisherman could vanish between camera sweeps. Back at the bridal cottage, Danica confronts survivor's guilt. Her white wedding dress hangs like a shroud beside a window where thunder rattles glass. Tyreek Withers' Teddy tries to comfort her, but his voice quivers. He's hiding the dash cam card he secretly kept after the crash. Withers told press his character loves Danica so much he'll lie until truth guts him. That card is his ticking bomb. Julie, sensing a cover-up, interrogates the group beside a fireplace that crackles like frying hooks. The newbies dodge questions until Teddy's phone buzzes. A cropped still from their accident, angle impossible unless someone filmed from the roadside. Danica crumbles, confessing they were streaming a drone shot and lost control when Ava's dog leapt onto the wheel. The reveal reframes everything. Negligence, not malevolence, birthed the Fisherman's vengeance. Julie's face darkens. Intent never matters to grief. Meanwhile, online rumor mills spiral. When red carpet photos show Sarah Michelle Gellar laughing with Prince but not Hewitt, tabloids push Buffy vs. Julie clickbait. Gellar slaps it down on Instagram, blaming missed timing and kids' bedtimes. Robinson bakes that real gossip into the script through news ticker crawls that flash during a Bar TV cameo. Alum no-shows after party. Feud? Julie glances at the screen, scoffs, and mutters, "They'll print any ghost story?" reinforcing the theme that rumors kill faster than fishhooks. Director Robinson also folds in horror history trivia. Julie's trauma lecture references the final girl split, the idea that surviving extreme violence fractures identity, coined by Carol J. Clover in 1992. Students yawn. Only Ava scribbles notes, foreshadowing she'll absorb Julie's survival tactics. Robinson told IndieWire she wanted the sequel to question whether legends teach or traumatize. Production anecdotes pepper the next chase. Jonah Hauer-King's Milo, fresh from an ankle cast after that harpoon stunt, hobbles across a storm-soaked pier set. Crew members dumped 3,000 gallons of water each take, blowing out lighting rigs, Hauer-King revealed on Rotten Tomatoes junket. The final cut shows rain sheeting sideways as Milo slips, crawls, and vanishes beneath a swinging net. When Julie arrives seconds later, only his phone remains, screen cracked but still recording. Audio of Ray's labored breathing in the dark. That audio leads Julie and Ava to an abandoned cold storage warehouse, filmed in Sydney's White Bay Power Station, its echo chamber perfect for fear. They follow the sound down ice-slick corridors to a blast freezer, where Ray hangs by shackles, alive but bloodied. He gasps, "He wants you to choose me or them." The Fisherman emerges, hook gleaming, and slashes Ava's shoulder before Julie can react. In that moment, Julie realizes the killer isn't playing by old rules. He's orchestrating moral dilemmas. Julie refuses the choice, flings freezer salt into the Fisherman's eyes, and drags Ray out as alarms blare. They barricade themselves in a maintenance tunnel, and Ray rasps, "If I die, promise me, burn the boat." Julie nods. Viewers recall the original shrimp trawler named Lorelei, now rumored mothballed at a private marina outside town. Robinson confirms she built a full-scale replica for the third act Inferno to honor 90s practical set destruction. As they limp toward dawn, Julie radios Danica, "Find the vessel where the nightmare started." The line propels us into the final block, where every secret and every corpse will surface. Daybreak paints Southport in pale gray, but the Lorelei's hull looms even darker. Salt-eaten wood groans with each tide, as if remembering screams. Teddy hotwires the marina gate while clutching the incriminating dashcam card. Danica prays she can swap vows for survival. Ava's arm bleeds through bandages, yet she volunteers to board first, proof the new generation isn't just bait. Below deck, they discover a shrine, photos from both 1997 and 2025 accidents, newspaper clippings, rusted hooks arranged like trophies. Center stage sits a weatherproof laptop looping dashcam footage, their crime now projected onto mildewed sails. The killer wants confession displayed as theater. Julie and Ray slip aboard from the opposite side, carrying gasoline cans. Ray sprinkles fuel while whisper reciting Psalm 23, the same passage he mumbled during ambulance transport in 1997, a detail Prinze suggested on set to mirror trauma loops. But before he reaches the wheelhouse, the fisherman drops from a mast, driving his hook through Ray's thigh. A brutal fight erupts. Ray jams an oar into the slicker's visor, revealing shocking youth. This is no aging revenant, but a college-aged copycat. "You stole our scars," Ray spits. The unmasking lands like a gut punch. It's Milo, presumed dead, fueled by survivors' guilt for filming the crash and letting others take blame. Jonah Hauer-King told people his character couldn't bear digital witnesses to a sin he caused and chose to become the punishment. Milo sneers that confession streams will earn more clicks than any influencer prank. Julie's retort slices deeper than any hook. Streams dry up, grief floods forever. Ava lunges, knocking Milo against a gas-soaked bulkhead. Flames erupt when Teddy's dropped flare gun discharges, igniting the Lorelei. Milo staggers, engulfed, and vanishes beneath collapsing rigging. Julie drags Ray down a corridor of fire while Danica and Teddy leap over railings into the harbor. The boat's final groan sounds like history exhaling. Onshore ambulances whirl. Julie watches the Lorelei sink, realizing the past can finally drown too. Yet as EMTs load Ray into an ambulance, Teddy approaches, dash cam in hand. He offers it to Julie, begging absolution. She pockets it silently. Penance postponed. News vans swarm. Reporters shout about old icons save new victims. Julie shields her face. Ava steps forward and declares, "We aren't victims, we're witnesses." Whomp. The clip trends before sunset, a survivor refusing victimhood, echoing contemporary discourse on agency. Critics hail the line as Robinson's thesis, that horror can evolve when survivors own their narrative. The film appears to end on that empowering note, then cuts to black. 3 seconds later, a tawny catfish flops onto a dock under moonlight. A hand snatches it, revealing manicured nails. Brandy's Carla Wilson steps from shadows, smiles at camera, and mutters, "Miss me?" A sound of a hook dragging echoes, and screen slams shut. Early audiences reportedly cheered like a Marvel cameo during that mid-credits surprise. The franchise hook sinks in again, promising new prey. Off-screen, Robinson confirms Carla's return depended on box office, but filmed the cameo because legacy is a lighthouse. You sail toward it or crash on it. The metaphor mirrors Julie's arc. Survivors either guide future generations or doom them by silence. The ambulance doors close on Julie and Ray heading to trauma wards. Together, not teenagers, but partners forged by unending summers. Julie finally plays Teddy's dash cam clip on her phone. It shows not a dog causing the swerve, but Milo reaching over to adjust camera angle, jerking the wheel. Responsibility crystallizes. Julie deletes the file, not to hide truth, but to stop trauma's replication. She whispers, "No more copies." The gesture answers the film's moral question. Do we preserve horror for justice or erase it for healing? Julie chooses mercy. As sirens fade, Robinson's camera tilts upward to fireworks cracking across the sky, identical to those from Danica's doomed engagement reveal. The cycle could begin again, unless witnesses stay louder than legends. The credits roll under muted fireworks. A final subversion, spectacle dimmed so survivors can rest. Epilogue. Book. Postscript for hosts, not narration. Carla's cameo fuels rumors of a New Orleans set sequel, luring Julie and Ray south into post-storm bayous. Whether that story surfaces depends on how many viewers stay past credits and how loudly they scream in the dark.